My name is Linus Onyango and you're watching ZED Experience. So what I do is that I own an organization. I'm a cultural practitioner. And I own an organization called Kenya Voluntary Service Organization, that's KVSO Kenya, where we safeguard the tangible and intangible cultural heritage through the UNESCO World Heritage Program. We have projects in Kenya, programs. We work in Tsavo National Parks, we work in Masai Mara, and we work also in Kakamega Forest. In Kakamega Forest, we have the intangible and tangible cultural heritage. Intangible is something that you cannot touch, you cannot feel. That is through the Isikuti dance. You know, the people around Kakamega, the Isuhas, they have a kind of a dance called Isikuti, which was inscribed in UNESCO as one that needs to be safeguarded because these are cultures that are fading off due to Western influence. So UNESCO thought that it was wise for them to safeguard these beautiful cultures. And in Kakamega also we have the forest. People are cutting down the forest, probably due to they want to build. You know, African culture where your father gives you land and you need to build. So these are some of the things we try to discover because the forest provides rain, provides food, provides a sense of livelihood to the communities around. So basically this is what we do. So how I got started is that I was working in the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO. I was also the UNESCO Youth Forum Kenya chairperson, where I got to learn more about culture because we used to, you know, UNESCO is about culture, it's about education, it's about science. So there was a time we went in the Kaya forest, Mijikenda Kaya forest in Mombasa, and through that I got inspired because there's a program in UNESCO called the World Heritage in Young Hands. This World Heritage in Young Hands tries to teach young people on the importance of safeguarding the intangible and tangible cultural heritage. For example, in African culture, you find that our stories were being told by grandparents to the young people, folklores. We are not like Europeans where they record. Us, we used to say it orally, and it used to be passed through generations. So these are some of the things that made me get inspired through this. And afterwards, I formed an organization called Kenya Voluntary Service Organization, where we try to safeguard the same through talking to young people living in these areas we call World Heritage Sites. Tsavo, Kakamega, and Mijikenda Kaya Forest, Masai Mara. These are some of the World Heritage Sites that we need the world to know about. Now, when a site is known as a World Heritage Site, it's very important because one of the things is that you get a lot of tourists because it's marketed all over the world. And having the UNESCO inscribed in it, it gives the country, the heritage site, an advantage over other probably heritage sites around the world. So it is very important when UNESCO inscribes probably a part of your country as a World Heritage Site. So this inspired me. Okay, why culture? Because personally I love culture because being an African, you cannot avoid culture. And also my background, I was a musician. We used to dance songs from all over the country, songs from Kisii, what. So those stories that inspired these songs made me love it. And also working with UNESCO, getting to understand more of culture also made me start some interest in me, and this is why I decided to work in this field. It is a very interesting field because culture is something that changes with time. What we practiced in 50s, 40s, 60s, 70s keeps on changing. So this is something that I'm really passionate about, and it is one of the areas that, you know, I'm proud of. When I go to Mijikenda, when I go to Masai, I see the Masais, you know, jumping and their way of life. When I go to Kisumu, the Luos, etc., something that inspires me, and I want to tell their story through what we do. So this is actually what inspired me because it's our way of life. Our way of life makes us. Yeah. I think young people are ignoring their cultural background because most of them think that these cultures are archaic. They are, you know, they're not important, that the Western culture that they're embracing is the way to go. But I will tell many young people that if you don't know where you came from, you will not know where you're going. So it is very important to understand your culture. Some things you cannot comprehend until you go back to where you came from and what happened in the past. Then you can be able to move in the future. It is very important for us to safeguard these cultures because, okay, some of them are way past time, but some of them needs to be embraced. And it is very important. It's up to you, it's up to me to make sure that our kids don't probably embrace other cultures and forget their culture. Because when you forget yourself, when you forget your culture, you forget yourself. And this is very important. And on our project on Kakamega Forest, let me just be specific, because you have the Isikuti dance. It has been danced for generations. One of the things we found was that the dance sometimes, the community believes that it heals. When you dance vigorously, if you are sick, it heals. When you have stress, you become well. So some things you might think that they look stupid, but when you go inside, you'll find that actually it carries something important. So I think culture is something I'm really passionate about. So what we are doing to change this narrative is that when we engage people from abroad, when they see people from Sweden, people from Germany, people from France, people from Scotland coming to their roots to learn and to get interest in this kind of cultures, in this kind of traditions, then the young people now become interested. They wonder, someone coming thousands of miles to come and learn my culture, to come and do what I have actually neglected, makes our young people really interested. Because even these people, when they come, for example, in Masai Mara, we have people making beads like this. They are made by women, young people. So when all these people from Europe come, they try to buy some of this. They try also to learn how to make these kinds of beads, etc. So this stirs up the economy of the area. These people come because culture, with your culture, your culture, someone cannot take it. People can learn, but they can never master your culture. So this is why it is important for our young people to actually embrace it, because it can be a sense of livelihood, as we've seen. Some of the challenges we've undergone was probably someone thinks that, what he knows is enough. He says like, where can culture take me? I'm a lawyer, I'm an artist, I'm a rapper. So what can traditional music, or where can traditional music take me? I would challenge even young people. If you look at the people who are doing traditional music, for example, the Ohangla and even Mogithi, these people are making a lot of money, more than the people who are doing this Western kind of type of music. If you see most people who are performing outside in Europe, the white people want the real cultural music. They don't want the copied computer stuff. So when you compare, when you embrace what you have, the world will also want to embrace it. So how you can work with me is that we have our website, www.kvsokenya.org, or KVSO Kenya, Facebook, and also Twitter, we are there, KVSO Kenya. Instagram, we are there, KVSO Kenya. So if you need to talk to us, the email is kvsokenya@gmail.com, and we will be happy to talk to you, exchange, and see what we can do together. If you want to work with UNESCO, because UNESCO is an intellectual body of the UN, so first of all, you have to be an intellect. Meaning, being an intellect doesn't mean that you have to be a genius. It means that you have to be a master of your own craft. So if you're someone who's let me say curious in matters science, in matters culture, in matters education, in matters information, then UNESCO is the right place for you. There's also the young version of UNESCO. It's called the UNESCO Youth Forum Kenya. If you want to work with them also, they have their WhatsApp, their Gmail account, their Instagram, their Facebook. You can also contact them. But generally, UNESCO likes to work with people. If you're someone who has ideas, then they can work with you, because what they say is that money is in ideas. If you don't have ideas, then you cannot make money. And UNESCO is the intellectual body of the UN, and it is one of the biggest. And it covers almost everything. So if you have something to offer, they can give you platform, but you have to have something first for you to get that platform.